Hello, everyone. Let me welcome an amazing person who has been a role model to us and has been in WLiT since day one. The founder, the executive director of WLiT, Nhasala Joshi. Welcome.
Thank you for the introduction.
But definitely, I would like to hear a short introduction from yourself as well.
My name is Nhasala Joshi, as everyone knows. I am one of the co-founders, and I did I'm working as the executive director for Women Leaders in Technology. I have an academic background in engineering, which I also worked in as hardware engineer for 4 to 5 years, and then I jumped into development sector as I felt the need to work in this area of gender and technology. So since 2015, since the inception in 2015, we've been working with WLiT to just make sure that we get more women participation in technology field, and women are the leaders in the technology field as well.
So you said about the inception in 2015, right? Like, could you share us the story behind it, how you and your co-founders met, and how you started this whole thing?
Initial inception of WLiT started in 2013 when we were an informal group. So I know Rosmi since I was in high school. I knew Binisa from my first day of college in Advanced Engineering College. I knew Sivani during the same time, and Razina from WLiT ko Suru Karne Belama from Women Lead as well. So when we initially thought of starting something along the line, I think I have to mention that we initially started from a workshop that Karhana and Women League did in 2013, where many of us were participants. And a sort of sisterhood came on to be Titikir Farm Boyo, and then we realized this is an issue that we want to work on. Panera. And then we started doing informal group sort of things. We used to go to hackathons, we used to go to competitions, we used to go participate in different tech events, and most of these times we used to be the only all-female group or only female in the entire competition or event. And the more that we got actively involved in all of these, we realized that there needs to be some sort of active involvement from more women, so more young women. So we started feeling like we need to do programs that are specifically for young women in technology field, and that's when, as we started conception of new programs, we realized we need to formalize ourselves under the government of Nepal, and that's when we formally created Women Leaders in Technology as a non-profit organization.
Okay. You said you found a need to create such groups, such organization, right? So did you had any personal experience which led to do that, or any kind of such experience that you want to share?
So experience, I think all of us, the founding members, had our own personal experiences around experiencing biasness, experiencing some sort of subtle sort of sexism within the industry, within the education, within the academia, within the industry as well, workplaces or nothing. I think we all had felt some sort of it. We all had a few years of experience working in the industry. Maybe I was more towards technology education, Binsa was more towards consumer technology. So we all had some sort of experience around that. त्यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ I had this especially some anecdote that I would feel like mentioning. It's चाहिँ I had a friend who once told me, तिमीले किन इन्जिनियरिङ पढ्नु पर्यो त, तिमीलाई त तिम्रो हस्बेन्डले पालिहाल्छ नि.
Oh my god. So, what is she or he doing now?
He's also an engineer, of
Okay.
course. But hearing things like those definitely demotivates you.
Yeah.
Definitely makes you feel like you're out of place. Or could say also you also come here with an aim. Nita. I did not.
Yeah.
I did not just fall into engineering out of nowhere. I chose to be in this field. This was one of the primary field that I went to IOE to give exams. त्यो सोचेर नै आएको थियो नि त. So कसरी त्यस्तो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ are people undermining my dreams and my ambitions? त्यो एउटा फिल भएको चाहिँ त्यतिखेर पनि थियो. With this, so when we're doing this workshop, एउटा चाहिँ के भन्दा नि a lot of time in a group, in a room full of men, even if men and women, who are answering a sorted question, raising their hand one day. It's like a lot of time, even in academia, a professor would probably choose a man to answer one day. And we try to do that within our own college and Tiffany, and we kind of failed that.
Yeah.
We do not get recognized as much time. Sorry, within the tech academia. Pani already sorry, we felt that. So those are some of the experiences that I shared, and I think again other co-founders in the group also felt the same sort of experiences or pani on their own as well.
Okay. So talking about establishment, when was WLiT actually established? And like, yeah, when was it actually established?
So formally, we established the organization in June of 2015. So Titi here saying,
Yeah, I clearly remember I was giving the application in June
oh,
2015, and I know the front behind the fellowship boot camp 2015, but I want to know the back end part, how you were managing those kind of stuffs. Can you please share that?
so Titi here say, of course, we're very young. Many of us were just 20, I guess. None of us knew actually anything about formally establishing an organization or anything. I guess you remember us, and
Yeah.
how young we were at the time. Did here, I think it was a lot of support from other organizations as well. So especially, I have to mention Karhana and only themselves, Panina. Also, Titi here ran also supported us
Yeah.
in some parts. Ajay Dai and then Dipesh Dai, they were primarily supporting, okay, ito one reports, how So we definitely got more support from individuals from different organizations that did help us realize, okay, this is the process, SRs and Gorn reports, and then you process our maths, and these are the liabilities, or but then again, this was a completely new thing for us. We did not understand a lot of legalities
Yeah.
of all of it. For us, it was also young women can do things the spirit for every one of us that were doing WLT at the time.
Yeah, I think, and you did it as well during those days. And with what vision and objective was WIT started?
So I think Titi Hira time when we're in 2015, let's say Titi Hira, when we initially thought of registering WLT as an organization, Titi Hira, the vision was very simple. We want more female participation from young women in technology field, and we want to see more women in the leadership positions and key decision making positions in technology. Okay, so those were like our twofold visions at the time. So there needs to be more participation, and only when there is more participation, there can be more in leadership. And when there is more people in leadership, it will inspire more people to participate. So that was our vision and mission at the time.
Yeah, so we are talking about 2015, right? It's been 9 years now. How do you think the tech for women has changed from 2015 to now? And what do you think is the change needed, or how is it going?
So definitely we can see more young leaders in technology field, as one is sitting right in front of me as well. We do see more young women in tech. We do see more women in the leadership in tech, people who are in key decision making positions. There's also more awareness around diversity and inclusion in the industry. There's also a lot of legal procedures that a lot of companies are following as well to abide to that. There's more recognition. There are more communities. Definitely, there are like already more than 20-25 communities who are working towards women in tech, women in STEM, so definitely different levels. Masa, there's more recognition for the issue, and also globally, locally, and even Nepal ke context na pani, there's more recognition for the issue. There's more activities happening around that, and there's a lot more events and maybe communities or networks or that are forming to encourage young women to go into technology field. Definitely, there are more role models in town. We have several company CEOs or who are female, several company directors or executives or who are female at the moment. And again, I have to emphasize also on technology, tech companies are kind of effort or around what they are doing and how much they are making sure that they have enough inclusion and diversity in their own workspace.
Talking about inclusion and diversity, how is WLIT addressing those needs and how has the programs been evolved?
So since 2015, a lot has changed.
Mhm.
I think when you joined in 2015,
Mhm.
our program was
Yeah.
7 days program, right?
Yeah.
And then it was more of a closed system sort of thing that
Mhm.
went on for a very long time. Did fellowship banayo थियो na. When we introduced fellowship in 2017, it started becoming like a more formal sort of thing.
Yeah.
We included mentorship. I think I guess you remember everyone from the
Yeah.
2015 and 2016 batch.
We're shouting
Practically.
like, why was this not in our cohort?
Why was mentorship not in our cohort? Why was
Yeah.
internship not in our cohort? Right? No,
Yeah.
Then we introduced internship again. Then we had project development ko part. So definitely a lot changed over time. But regardless of just the fellowship and the program itself, but WLiT evolved more as an organization who sees feminism differently. हाम्रो way of thinking पण change भयो over time. We grew up old as well over the time, and we realized there is a lot more intersectional issues that we need to look into when we talk about feminism, when we talk about women empowerment and everything. त्यो सबै गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ what we realize is diversity inclusion is not something that is primarily just let's get more women in technology. Let's also think about all the other minorities, all the other intersectional issues. Think about geography, think about ethnicities, think about languages, think about accessibility. त्यो सबै गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अहिले what we say is not like we want more women in tech. We say tech needs to be more inclusive. We need to create a more ethical and inclusive technology field. And technology in itself as a device or as an internet, as the tools and everything also needs to be more accessible and inclusive. We are recognizing it this year. So we have more programs that cater towards all these issues. So we have Take for Moms, there is Take for Trans, which sorts more towards the queer and trans issues. There's also Safer I campaign, which is more towards internet and the individuality, safety over the internet. There's also other programs that are like Women Take It Up, which is more towards creating alliance along with how many different groups and communities are there around women in STEM and women take say how can we work in synergy rather than competing with them for same sort of beneficiary group. How can we create like an alliance with all those groups and work in complementary to one another when you're at their events and programs are at the moment. So overall, we are looking WLiT early so that we look at technology. It needs to be more ethical. It needs to be more inclusive in all this sort of where we think about feminism, intersectionality.
Yeah. Over the years, I think the vision of WLiT has changed, as you mentioned. It's not just getting more women in technology, but making the tech inclusive, right? So, doing this bigger things, there must be a strong team, right? Like throughout these 9 years, how has the team of WLiT been like? Like, is it just you working throughout day and night, or or how is the team evolving and how it has impacted you and the organization?
I remember when we first started in 2015, part of the curriculum was delivered by WLiT themselves, part of the curriculum was delivered by Women Lead, part of it was delivered by Robotics Association of Nepal. So there were many other organizations we were very much dependent to, and we're very thankful that they were there when we started, and they're still here every day supporting us in many of the things. But WLiT itself, when we started, we were working as engineers and in different capacity in tech field at the time. Over the time, many people left the country for their studies, for their work, and among the 9 people who were the initial co-founders, I'm one of them right now.
Okay.
But at the same time, definitely something to look into is also how the fellows themselves stepped up and became part of WLiT, embraced the whole values and missions and visions, and are doing their own thing within WLiT ecosystem. Like you are now a vice president, right?
Yeah.
From 2015 fellow to being a vice president. We have fellows from 2018 who are leading different teams, working as program officers and managers at the moment. So the team itself, we say it's a circular leadership. We are self-led group. So to establish saying once you get into the WLiT community, one or the other way, you become part of WLiT. And if you want to start something on their own, like how Sephora started from the 2018 batch, and then it became a program in itself within WLiT. So if you have an idea, if you have a project that you want to initiate, people come and become part of the staff groups. And then again, the board itself is full of our alumni. So team has definitely expanded, but over the time we have created a culture where the fellows or the people who become part of the community themselves, they carry this vision forward and lead the team.
Yeah, but I want to ask, like, you being an executive director, what are the challenges that you face while leading a big team like this?
So challenges definitely, as I mentioned, people leave. That's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, and how are you overcoming those?
Overcome banda hai. It's like they definitely, if they feel the need that their growth is not here, and at one point, definitely, if उनीहरूको growth चाहिँ यहाँभित्र हुँदैन, if they have gotten to a point where they need to go somewhere else to grow themselves or develop themselves into a different person, create a shift पनि हुन सक्छ हैन. त्यो सबैमा चाहिँ if definitely they see that there's a need, भनेदेखि we understand that for them. So they leave the city, probably they go into a different country, they go abroad, they go for masters, they go for work something हुन्छ नि. त्यो सबैमा चाहिँ over time it's sad that they leave, but at the same time you have to be supportive that they do.
It's for their own growth.
And again, when they go, it's not that they are completely leaving WLiT, right? Even people who have left WLiT over the time, for many of these different reasons, they have always supported WLiT, maybe as remote mentors, maybe as champions, maybe just helping us in fundraising at times, helping us spread the word. So they haven't completely left us.
Yeah.
At least that's what I like to believe.
Yeah, definitely. And because of all the team support, I think from just a boot camp in 2015, we have grown. We have now the programs like Safer Eye, Tech for Moms, Sorrel Computing, Tech for Trends, Women Take It Up. So how does this programs in WLiT complement the core mission and values of WLiT?
So, like I mentioned, early WLiT vision itself has grown from just human leadership in tech to making technology in itself more inclusive, more ethical. So when we think about this, what is technology and how do we make it more inclusive? And we need to think about all these nuances around feminism, around minorities, inclusion. यो सबै कुराहरु चाहिँ include गर्दाखेरि सबै ठाउँमा चाहिँ the way we look at it, startदेखि नै endसम्म नै we have to think of different sort of interventions. So कस्तो खालको interventions भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ a lot of time schools there are no female computer teachers. So they have not seen a female computer teacher, so they will never imagine that there are going to be female computer teachers. So to give that exposure to young kids, especially young girls in maybe middle school, primary school groups, or when you give them that exposure, yes, there can be female engineers, there can be female entrepreneurs, there can be female teachers. But they will see and they will realize, okay, this is the kind of dream that I can have, and this is the kind of ambition that I'm going to pursue. So त्यहाँबाट start भएर so maybe schoolको phase-देखि नै we are doing some interventions around educating them in coding, educating them in STEM education. त्यो खालकोबाट start भएर we go into supporting them when they're in undergraduate phase. त्यो भन्दा भन्दै we can't. So fellowship itself is for anyone who identifies as women and in their bachelor's or equivalent. त्यो भन्दा भन्दै we also have to realize that tech industry at the moment lacks a lot of diversity, not just gender diversity, but a lot of diversity. त्यो अनुसारले चाहिँ okay, we need to look into why there are not enough for people in Nepalese tech society, right? त्यो खालको कुरा पनि we started looking into that. That's when Tech for Trans came into inception. त्यो सँगसँगै त्यसपछि we also started to look at so who are the vulnerable groups who are using technology and feel excluded. त्यो भन्दाखेरि we realized okay, there's a large population of people, there's a general mass themselves as well who do not have enough education around technology probably हुन्छ नि. For them, just demystifying technology, demystifying internet itself is also important. So that's when Safer Eye and that's when Tech for Moms are coming. So looking at this trajectory, there are different points of interventions and WLiT is trying to work into different points of intervention.
Okay. Yeah. And talking about that, we started WLiT fellowship from Kathmandu, and we have grown to Pokhara and now in Butwa. So, are there any other regions that we are trying to achieve? And like, there might be few problems that we face during these expansions, right? Please shed us some light on that as well.
So definitely different geographies when काम गर्दाखेरि there's a different sort of bureaucracy that you go through. There's always that. And there's again, like you were one of the people who were working in Pokhara.
Pokhara, yeah.
Like when we went there and we realized, okay, education here is very different from education in Kathmandu. So we have Kathmanduमा tech events happening every Saturday. Pokhara there's maybe when we start Pokhara there's rarely one or two every month. Right, from the local effort. So different spaces must have different sort of opportunities also. So this, let's say, how do we see this is like maybe Kathmandu there's going to be more applications because there's a larger population in Kathmandu and there's also a larger number of students who are going to be applying for the fellowship. And at the same time, Butwalma, nobody actually knows about WLiT when you first were in there. So, just getting the word around that, okay, this is WLiT, this is what we do, this is the kind of community that we have. We welcome people like you, so join us. So, different Thomas and we have different sort of presence. There's a different bureaucracy that we need to go through. And again, त्यहाँको culture, त्यहाँको education levels, त्यहाँको skill setहरूको हिसाबले हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ there needs to be some sort of tweak in our own curriculum, how we deliver our curriculums, how we design our programs. So, Pokhara we went there and when we first started, we realized, okay, यहाँ त residential because it's going to be very difficult for the entire curriculum to be done in 7 days or 8 days if we don't do it residential. So त्यो अनुसारले चाहिँ we change our courses or programs and also we also look at different ways that once they graduate from the program, because we are based in Kathmandu and our engagements are going to be more focused in Kathmandu. So we definitely have to think about online engagements and once they are remote. So there are different ways of thinking about that.
Yeah, okay. And thinking of that, like we went to Pokhara for 2 days just to see that how tech is there in Pokhara, right? Do you think like we have changed some kind of the tech ecosystem in Pokhara? Like have you seen that in 2 years of fellowship in Pokhara?
Definitely we see more things happening. So Pokhara fellowship so there is a community, let's say, of WLiT alumni who are in Pokhara at the moment. And from moment take it up that we started last year, there were certain groups that started their own clubs or at least some sort of activities within their clubs. So there is more sort of involvement for women in tech, especially in the STEM bodies or from the college groups. There's definitely more.
Yeah, I think this is an achievement for WLiT itself. So talking about these, what are other achievements that you think that WLiT has achieved and how those successes has made you one step closer to the mission that you are working on?
Definitely when I talk about achievement, I'll talk about you people.
yeah. Fellows are the assets of WLiT, we must say.
Like from 2015 fellow to being a product owner at Cotivity and then going on to becoming vice president of WLiT as well, while all this also while you're living your own life and
Yeah.
taking your own responsibilities
Mhm.
personally pa niya. So being part of the journey that you guys have is the biggest achievement for us, definitely. And we have been able to be part of over 120 of the fellows.
Yeah.
Subways and a personal life match, we have had some sort of impact. So that's definitely, we say, as our biggest achievement ever.
Yeah.
त्यो बाहेक चाहिँ we have recognition from different communities or different association, different federationsहरूको होइन त्यो खालको पार्ट्सहरू अर्को छँदैछ. But if I have to mention what's the biggest achievement, I would say our fellows and our alumni and what they have done over the years. Maybe it's about their own personal achievement पनि, and also what they have done within WLiT पनि, how they are giving back to the communities. Maybe within WLiT community भएर पनि, or outside of WLiT पनि, forming something on their own, starting something on their own, and leading different issues or different causes. Or
Okay. Yeah. Moving towards the vision and mission, how do you think like we have fostered a culture of inclusivity and diversity within WLIT and our programs?
so over the years, what each of us have realized is there's more to learn.
Yeah.
Because every one of us that started WLIT were from tech background. So for a lot of us, this navigating through the development sector is one of the things, but also understanding feminism, understanding women empowerment, understanding the core issues behind it over the years has been a learning process on its own. So, and that has also been a learning process for everyone who had joined WLIT as a community and then joined WLIT through our office ko team from our board ko team from as a volunteer for all of us. This has been a learning process over the time. So we have definitely learned a lot over the years. Ani त्यो बाहेक चाहिँ I would say, or was I apart from being learning process, it's also been a juggle between our one tech careers and again our full-time job, and also giving back to the community. We love this community. We want to give back. We want to be involved with the community. And there has definitely been that. So lessons or definitely this has been the learning points for us.
Yeah. And what do you think inclusivity and the diversity, like, are these essential for the innovation and progress of the tech industry as such?
Definitely, of course. Like as a product owner, when you think about a product, you think about the users, right?
Yeah.
So who do you think when you think about the users?
Yeah, I think there should be a diverse group.
Definitely, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about users, if your users are going to be from a diverse group of people, you have to have people involved, same खालको diversity also in the development part of things.
Yeah.
So definitely त्यो त चाहिने also. And again, apart from that as well, diversity and inclusion किन पनि चाहिन्छ भन्दाखेरि अब definitely there's a study that says कि when there are more female leaders in the company, their revenue is better. So there have been multiple studies around that, how having diverse or more gender diverse leadership team also creates a better working environment for all the employees. So there have been multiple studies around that as well. But at the same time, just thinking as a product owner, when you think about it, definitely the product is for everyone and everyone needs to be in the team as well. So maybe in development, maybe in quality assurance, maybe in any of this, there has to be opinions that come from all sorts of people, so that the project that we do or the product that we make also caters to all sorts of people.
Yeah, definitely. And I was thinking like how we are including this kind of diversity and inclusivity in our programs itself, like be it the applications that we get. How are we including this?
So पहिला चाहिँ when you used to get, even for fellowship applicationकै कुरा गरौँ न, त्यतिखेर नि what we used to get was a lot of applications coming from Kathmandu West students. Early when we take application, we get applications from a lot of people who are not just in Kathmandu or from other cities. I think one lesson that we learned during COVID when we did online application online fellowship was there's a lot of interest from people outside of Nepal, outside of Kathmandu Valley, and we need to cater to them as as well.
Yeah.
That's when poker and neutral also started. And another thing that we realized was also we need to think of diversity in different aspects. So we cannot expect the same amount of maybe technical capacity, from
Yeah.
people who are going to a low resource colleges compared to people who are going for high resource colleges. There are different sort of income range that people have, even when they go into technological education. Some go into engineering, some go into BCA, and some go into CSIT, and there are multiple sort of income range that they come from. And again, there's also think about ethnic group, indigenous groups, or minority groups. So त्यो खालको कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ if we say we are the ones who are preaching diversity, we need to have that within our own system as well. So definitely thinking of all these aspects and then there are people who come and say, well, apply select and we're like, there are so many things that we look at. We can't just select because you have a very good resume, right? We have to look into different aspects. Who should be for us, it's more about who would get more from WLiT, who would be a better recipient than who is a better candidate right now. And there has been different things that we have looked at.
Yeah, with this, I think we have come to a very end. So I would like to ask, what are the lessons that you learned as a co-founder and an executive director throughout the journey of building WLiT?
As a co-founder, it's been very long journey. It's been 9 years.
9 years.
And I think lesson learned, I guess, is around creating a culture of giving back. What are the incentives that you give to people, and what makes them come back to the community has been one of the lessons, definitely. And also around this entire process of, we were talking about diversity, inclusivity, creating a community and everything. And use of a process is not something one person or one group of people can do, definitely. It has to be more collaborative. And it also has to, you have to ask for a lot of support. And that's what we have realized over time a lot. And for me, that has been asking everyone that, and also probably at times telling people that they are partially responsible for this. One has been one of the lessons that I've learned, and asking for help, I guess, it has been one of the lessons that I've learned. And again, supporting people comes in a different form every time for every individual. So some people might need different sort of emotional support, and some people might need support in terms of technicalities. So at WLiT, understanding what kind of support a person needs at what point in time is something that we have started to realize.
Okay. Yeah. Looking ahead, what does the future hold for WLiT? Because we have talked about past, how we started, how we continued, how we evolved, but what does the future holds for WLiT?
I would say next generation of leaders. Definitely, I would say you becoming a bigger part of WLiT.
Definitely.
And again, we have people coming up as young leaders within the organization as well, like Ivashna, Viva, Sarila, Lakpa, Srizna. Everyone is here, doing their one part of leading WLiT. त्यो केसमा चाहिँ I would say just new faces and new leaders who are taking over, I would say is the future of WLiT.
And definitely more programs,
definitely.
more regions.
So I guess once there is a next generation of leaders, they will definitely look at future differently than I had when I started back in 2015. And WLiT evolved every year, like we have always done. So what holds WLiT is our sisterhood, and I guess that is also what will drive the changes that happens in the future.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for this beautiful answers, and WLiT is all about sisterhood.
Thank you for being in WLiT for so long.
Thank you. Thank you.
And for
You're done.
everyone who has been part of WLiT for many, many years.
Thank you for coming in today, Nashladi. So we have something for you. Yeah, there it is. Thank you so much for coming in and giving very wonderful answers and insights to our viewers. Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you for being here to do this interview. And everything.
Yeah.
I guess you owe more of my gratitude than I do feel. And thank you to the entire team who has been here and who conceptualized
Yeah.
all of it and executed all of it.
Okay, thank you.